run it back, 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 run it back. Lost through the band, had to crawl back. Can't take no more L's, I need all that. Run off with a pack and get the dome crack. The 4 feel show, a nigga 4 flat. Run it back, 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 run it back. Quit that little drop, now you hustling. They counted you out, now you bubbling. Took you some losses, but bounce back. Now they feeding for you like you good crack. Run it back, 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 run it back. Lost through the band, had to crawl back. Can't take no more L's, I need all that. Run off with a pack and get the dome crack. The 4 feel show, a nigga 4 flat. Run it back, 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 run it back.
Hello, welcome back to the WarDawg Trail. This is episode 51. Tonight, I have with us a special guest. I bring to you a creator, an influencer, and a firearms enthusiast. The one, the only, Aaron from Costly Talk. How you doing tonight, Aaron?
Man, it's so good to be here, brother. Thank you once again for inviting me. I got to shout out my guy from Black Powder for linking us up. And of course, let's get to it.
How you doing? All right, bro. All right. Now, can you start us off? Let us know about your background in firearms or security.
Yeah, so I've been in the firearm space for about 6 years. It all kind of popped off one evening when I was in an apartment, me and my guys from college. Things got a little bit weird, just got a knock on the door, and I'm not going to get into the whole story, but by the end of it, I realized, like, dang, I don't want to be in this position again where something could potentially pop off and I'm not going to be able to defend myself. I was about to get married, so that was, additionally on my mind, like, man, if something crazy happens, I got to be able to defend my wife, my kids, my family at large. And eventually got to a point where I'm going to the range regularly with friends, watching a ton of YouTube videos. And to speak specifically on the background question that you had, this last year, so for probably about 2 years now, I've been working in private security. And this last year, starting in January, I went through a course to receive my Texas level 3 and level 4 security license.
Congratulations, boss. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So I don't do any like club security or anything like that. I work with my team, who is also level 4 security personnel, which is like bodyguard personal protection level. And we do that for our local church that we attend. So that's something that I'm proud to do. My family attends that church, so I'm proud to know that if anything were to happen, or if anything were to begin to happen, that me and a competent team can de-escalate and or stop a threat should it occur. So that's my professional background, other than being a content creator, somebody who's in the podcasting space, sharing the stories of other creators or individuals who are in the firearms industry. That stuff is cool too. But I think the most important, impactful thing that I've done is be able to step into that role of protector of not just my immediate family, but also my church family as well.
All right. Sounds great, bro. Sounds great.
Yeah,
now, about how many years would you say you have experience in the field?
So in that specific field, we started doing security with the church for almost 2 years. They started to transition the safety team members, the security team members over into being licensed personnel, I guess for liabilities and whatnot, and making sure that we are the most prepared for any sort of situation. So for the past year, we're in November now, beginning of November, so about 11 months, I've been acting in the capacity of a trained licensed professional.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you initially, what area are you located in?
Yeah, so I'm located in a little town called small city called Tyler. It's down in East Texas, in between Dallas, Texas, and Louisiana, Shreveport. You know, if you're hopping on the I-20 driving through, you can find me. I'm pretty easy to find.
All right, all right. Now, if you can, take us into your space as a creator, as an influencer. How long has it been
Oh my gosh. So I've
going on?
been in the content creation space probably about 3 years.
All
Yeah,
right.
about 3 years. I started. I'll tell you, one of my heroes when I first got started was a lady named Marshall Davis of My Sister's Keeper Defense. She's since
Yeah, I've
retired
heard of her. I've
from.
heard of her.
Yeah, she's a big deal. Like she's kind of a legend in our space. She's since retired from firearms instructing and more or less being an online person in the gun space. But that was actually recently, like in the last few months. But I saw a commercial with her on the USCCA about 4 years ago, and I was like, "Oh snap! Like, there's black people out here shooting guns." I had no idea. Like, I thought I was the only one taking it seriously. You know, other than like Corleone Noir. You know, he's he not saying he's different, but he's kind of like big time. So it's like, well, that's one
Yeah,
guy. That's one
another
guy.
level, right?
Right. One guy on a completely different level. So for me, I saw that and I actually sent her a DM. I was like, man, thinking she's never gonna see it. I'm like, wow, this is so awesome. Like, thank you for kind of being a face in the firearms industry. That's inspiring to me. I definitely want to get training sometime. And she was like, you know what? Training sounds good. Have you considered joining NAGA, the National African American Gun Association? I was like, okay, yeah, that's actually a great idea. Let me look them up. At the time, their website was like booty, like it was real bad. It looked like something out of like Windows 98 dial up. But I was able to find a club in my local region. I had to drive 2 hours to Dallas. Started shooting with them, and I realized shooting with a lot of people who look like myself. There are so many stories in the gun space. There's people who own guns and they're kind of on the liberal side. There's people who own guns and they're like super conservative. There's people somewhere in between. And I just wanted to start telling those stories. So I eventually had a mountain biking accident, which is a whole nother story. I don't want to get into it right now, but I can. And I realized I can't get out and shoot with the guys. I got to drive 2 hours to Dallas to go shooting, and my ACL is all torn up. So I can't go out to shoot with them. And I decide, well, let me continue these conversations. So I'm getting on the phone with my guys, chopping it up. And I was like, people should be a part of these conversations. What if I started like some sort of podcast? I've always kind of wanted to do a podcast. And I got sick. I got COVID and I had nothing to do for like 2 weeks except for sit around the house. And I said, well, let me like Google search this and start YouTubing like how to start a podcast, how to make it look really good. And I gave myself like an associate's degree in podcasting. So before I know it, what's that?
You there?
Yeah, I'm still here. We cut out?
Okay. Yeah.
What's the last thing you heard me say? No, you're good. What's the last thing you heard me say?
It was right before you began to answer about entering the space for as a creator.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It completely lost you, and you.
Okay, wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize it was bugging out like that. I'll try to give you. Am I back?
Hold on for 1 second.
Yeah.
I still have. I'll get you. Damn. You still there, right?
Yeah, man, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. Service signal looks good on my side. Connection 10 out of 10.
Come on. All right, got you.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool. So I suppose let me answer that question. Like, what got me into the content creation space? I'll give you the abbreviated version. Um, After I met Marshall Davis, or I had sent her a message, she actually recommended me to go and look into NAGA, the National African American Gun Association. When I joined, I found a club in Dallas, about 2 hours away from me, and I said, "Well, let me just go ahead and try to link up with those guys." Met up with the club president, went to a few of the range days, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome." Couple, not that long later, maybe like 3-4 months into it, I was out Thanksgiving Day mountain biking, and I had a bit of an accident. I tore up my ACL.
Oh, bad deal.
Sucked.
I tore
Yeah,
my
that sucked.
MCL, so I know what you mean, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of a raw deal. Like, man, it's a long recovery. You have to decide, am I going to get surgery or not? And eventually, I did. But at that point, like, I couldn't drive for 2 hours and go shooting with the guys. Like, this just isn't going to work out the way you hope it would. So
Right.
between then, actually, I got COVID, and for about 2 weeks, I had nothing to do except for hop on the phone with the dudes, talk about shooting, talk about gun history, talk about the history of Black men in America, owning guns and using guns, and kind of that issue. And so I decided, let me go ahead and start a podcast. Let me share some of these conversations. And for the first, I would say, year, I almost exclusively had conversations with Black gun owners here in the States, here in America. And it was a great time. Eventually, as I started having more of these conversations and actually talking to some competition shooters, I got connected with a big time YouTuber named The Humble Marksman. As I posted something somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, that intro was really good," because I posted some competition shooting footage of my guest to kind of like intro the video or the podcast episode. And so through that, somehow we got connected. I ended up getting invited out to some of these events. Got to a point where I could actually start shooting myself and use some of the camera skills that I learned in podcasting to go and actually start making gun videos. And I've not made a ton of gun videos, but I'm really proud of the ones that I have made on the Instagram and Armed Atlas, YouTube. And that's been a really cool part of this, is getting recognized by some of the bigger brands and people sending emails, be like, "Hey, let's send you something. Can you do a video?" And I would say the best part about that is being able to say no. Be like, "I'm good. I don't need your product." So that's
Right.
That's been cool.
It's a position of power, right?
Yeah, there's something about that where you do, once you've kind of reached a certain level of, I guess, quality and recognition, and having some of the ability to buy some of this stuff yourself. Like, you don't need everything that people want to send you. There is a certain amount of power that you have where you can say, "Nah, I'm good," or "Nah, if you're gonna pay me to do like an ad for you or something like that, I'm not gonna do it for pennies. Like, I know my worth at this point." So there's a bit of power in
There
that.
we go. They're dealing with
Yeah.
a boss. They need to treat you like a boss and pay you accordingly.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
indeed.
and I'm not saying like, "Oh man, I need $1 million per deal," but I'm like, I know I got a family. I got other stuff going on. I got the podcast. I got, guys like you that I want to talk to. Why do I want to spend several hours of my time making a product video for somebody who their product's kind of crap anyways? Like, let's talk about it. First of all, bring a quality product, and then if it's something that requires payment, that's cool. If it's not a video that would be conducive to payment, like some reviews you might not want to take payment for because it may not sit with your audience well, that you've been paid to do an unbiased review. Some people have issues with that. If that's the case, then it better be a product that they want to see. I'm not going to push a product to my audience who they want to see quality stuff if the product is just kind of somebody's idea of a good product, but it's really just something rebranded that's a Chinese product from Temu. You know what I mean? So
Right. Exactly. It's got to be organic, man.
yeah, it's got to be organic. It's got to be good. Like, I've got to see the value in it for the people that trust me to make a video. Here's the thing about an audience, and you know this, but hopefully, whoever hears this can understand that we're thinking about it. Like, the idea that somebody would take 30 minutes, an hour, even 10 or even 5 minutes and watch my video, or surf my IG page, or even just kind of click in, or even some of the guys who have supported and joined like the Patreon, or we moved away from Patreon, we're in locals now. Like, guys who support me on that level, like they've got to, we have to consider them when making products or making videos, especially pushing products that, like, I better believe in it. Like, I'm not pushing anything that I don't like, that I don't use, that I don't think is actually has some sort of purpose or utility. So that's where I'm at. Crap, did we freeze up again? Oh man. All right. Sorry, I thought I lost you.
Man, it happened again. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, no, actually, I just got a whole new Wi-Fi box and hardwired in to make sure that I could have. I'm backstage. I'm back.
I'm doing that thing again where I'm trying to get the frozen image off, and I can get you live. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I've never had this happen before, especially not 3 times in the same show.
Yeah. Is this? I'll tell you what. Let me. With my Chrome, because maybe it's me.
No. It's not you. I'm positive it's my end, bro. I'm positive.
Okay. You'll hear me, like that's fine too. Can you hear me, or is my voice cutting out?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I can hear you great.
For me, you got questions for me?
Yeah. Let's continue on. Can you give me your top 3 firearms? But hold on for 1 second. Hold on until I can make sure I get you on the screen. Did you drop your video?
Mm-hmm. Just refreshed it.
Oh, okay. Come on, man. Okay, you can speak because there is a still image of you.
Okay.
until you
Audio is
actually
the most
appear.
important thing, anyways.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you said what are my top? Just by design, I will have to say the Glock 19/45. Yeah, it's not perfect. Obviously, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, a lot of people hate how blocky Glocks are. A lot of people don't like that they haven't innovated or added any, real features that maybe some. I would say the Glock 19/45 or 19X, depending on which one you like. What kind of feature you like better is that's probably my number one. Like if you said like, hey man, you can only keep one gun on you for the rest of your life. You're not going to be able to change any parts, or you're not going to be able to buy anything else. I'd be like, all right, let me get some sort of Glock 19, Glock 45, maybe even a Glock 17, but I think I prefer the 45. I would say I like my AR. If I had to keep just one AR, I don't know if I'd pick a specific brand or model. There's so many. Like there are so many. But if I could build out the perfect AR, I would say let's do that. Chambered in 5.56, that's fine. You can suppress that. It's not going to be a perfect suppression just because it's not a 300 blackout or something that's subsonic in the way that it fires. But it's helpful. Top three. Man, that's a good question. Like what else is there after the I suppose let's go back to the world of handguns. I think I would pick a P365
Nice.
also, because SIG P365, just because they're so compact in their smaller variation. In addition to that, you can actually take out the fire control unit from inside of the P365 and put it in a different grip. You can add a longer barrel and slide and get kind of a bigger gun. In fact, if you get the X Macro grip module or grip system or whatever you want to call it, and the X Macro magazines, you can have a micro compact gun and then upgrade into almost like a duty style gun, something with 17 rounds. So that's something that I've been working on. That's a video that I've been actually working on for the Armed Atlas YouTube channel. So folks, if you guys want to go subscribe, look forward to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about concealed carrying? Are you for it, against it?
Oh yeah. So actually, for work, when you're a level 4, which is personal protection, or a bodyguard, more or less, in the state of Texas, you're required to conceal your firearm. So I'm all for it. I mean, I think it does get a little bit tricky when you're like somebody's completely untrained, or you run into some yahoos on the internet and you're like, okay, you're suggesting different things and like, yeah, I never carry with a holster. You're like, what? Why are you like this? But ultimately, I'm all about people's freedom to be able to protect and defend themselves, even if it's in a way that I find to be kind of a little bit stupid, or a little bit unprepared, or a little bit uneducated. So I'm all for concealed carry. I think, as opposed to open carry is actually kind of a bad idea in most instances. I know there's a lot of guys who are all for it. You might be all for it. I don't know. I've got a lot of guys who think that it gives them a tactical advantage because the bad guy will see them and be like, ooh, I better not. But we've also seen a lot of bad guys say, ooh, free gun, because they don't have the right equipment to retain that firearm. and they also don't have the required awareness to react and defend um, their form of defense, their tools, should somebody decide that it's time to snatch a gun and get a free gun.
How about SHOT Show, bro? Have you been to a SHOT Show, or are you going next year?
You know what? SHOT Show is so expensive to go to, and we are on a
Right,
budget. I have not
right.
been to SHOT Show. No one's invited me to come on and get my all expense paid trip. In fact, I would say my biggest excuse for not going to SHOT Show is the first year that it was on my radar to go. It was around the birth of my daughter. So I was like, I really can't chance it just to go to some fancy event in Vegas away from my family. You know what I mean? Um, and then the second time I was actually going through my security certification course, which was 5 weeks, 80 hours of training, including range time and you know, gun handling, that kind of stuff. So I really just couldn't go. But this year I'm not going to go just because we don't have the budget. Like we've spent a lot of money going to Atlanta for the NAGA annual convention. We went to GunCon this year. We went to a few other little things here and there, buying new guns for the show. And it's like, okay, I don't think we can swing SHOT Show this year. Have you gone yet? Are you going this year?
I have not been myself, but I
Right.
have to tell you, I'm not waiting for any kind of invite or anything like that. I want to go ASAP, so I'm gonna go on my own if I can. If everything works out right, I got to get myself there.
Yeah.
Um, and I definitely, I want to go to this one coming up.
Mhm.
But if I don't, for whatever reason, I do know it's on the map, and I do plan on going up to
Yeah.
more and more events, man. Because I haven't been personally, I haven't been to any events, man. I haven't been to
I'm
like
shocked.
TriggerCon or SHOT Show or
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked that you haven't gone, especially because you've got the platform that you have, and you're talking to these people, and I think it's important for you, as it's been important for me, to get in front of some of these people, whether it's the people who enjoy your content, who go to, let's say, the USCCA Expo. That's been a great place to meet up with people who have watched my show, and that's so cool, meeting up with people who have been like, oh yeah, I was driving in the car and we were on a 2-hour trip and we were listening to you talk. And I was like, really? Bro, thank you. Like, yeah. And the guy turns around to his wife, that's the guy. It's like, wow, that's kind of, it's kind of a weird position to be in. Just because
Hey, salute to you, bro. Salute, man.
I mean, I'll take it. And, salute to you as well. Cause obviously we're trying to do the same thing and trying to educate people and share our story and share stories of others. But I'm just a regular guy. Like when it really comes down to it, like I'm kind of a little bit boring. I could be a little bit dorky when it comes down to it. Like I'm just trying to find the best way to conceal carry, the best way to train, and share that experience with others on the Armed Atlas channel, and obviously throughout our time and in the podcasting space, we've met some really cool people who have agreed to, for some reason, agreed to come and spend like an hour or 2 or 3 and just chat on a Sunday. And it's like, man, we had Talon Sai, he used to do the Sunday Gun Day show. We've had Kevin Dixie. We've had Marshall Davis on the show. We've had Chris from 1911 Syndicate. Some of these guys are huge. People who run organizations, people who run mental health organizations for people in the gun space who are trying to get help. And I know that's something that's really important to you as somebody who's been through some stuff,
Right.
In war and coming back and trying to exist and be okay, right? And it's like,
Right.
who are the people who try to take care of you? Like you're busy trying to take care of others. Who's taking care of you? And some of those people are some of the people who have agreed to come on my show, and who are aware that some people, they can go through some stuff sometimes. So it's just been awesome knowing that, like, hey, there's people who watch, there's people who appreciate it. Oh, excuse me. And beyond that, there's kind of like the big dogs in the space that they're willing to be a part.
Yeah.
I didn't always feel like that. There is a time where if I asked somebody to be on the show, it's just like, oh, we're a little bit busy right now, and that's okay too, right? Like, that's fine if you're busy, but ultimately, um, kind of getting to a point where it's more yeses than nos from the people that I want a yes from. That's a big deal. So
That's what counts, bro. That's what it comes
yeah,
down
man.
to.
So I want to see you at the next event, bro. I don't know what event I'm going to next. It's not SHOT Show, but I'm going to something. I want to see you there.
So you're saying you have been to the one for the USCCA?
Yeah, I've been there twice. This last time,
Nice. Where at?
yeah, it was in Dallas the last 2 years. This last year was in like Wisconsin or something. I was like, I'm not going to Wisconsin, but that one was really good. A lot of my mutual like friends and colleagues actually spoke there. Like Kevin Dixie from No Other Choice. He's kind of a big deal in the Atlanta area, and he's big in the civil rights. He spoke. He actually had a segment there where he literally shared and spoke and whatnot. My guy Ken Scott from Perfectus Group, he was there doing a Red Dot course, which is really cool. And my guy from Guns Out TV, John Keys, he was there giving a talk, kind of sharing kind of the importance of sharing the Second Amendment and making sure that other people kind of get into the space and what Guns Out TV has kind of all, kind of been about. So definitely go if you can. USCCA is one of the easier ones to get into. Like, it doesn't take much to get into it, and I think there's a lot of value there with a lot of the biggest vendors are there. So if you need new gear, like, talk to them. And a lot of fans are there just enjoying the event.
Right on, bro. Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you've been way more than helpful and insightful and eye-opening here today. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come have a talk with me, bro. I really do. I really do.
I mean, it's been cool. I definitely appreciate the invitation, being able to come on to somebody else's platform and talk about my stuff. I was like, oh, well, what's so special about me? But hopefully you were able to get something. Hopefully the listener or viewer, they were able to get something out of it as well. It's because it's one of those things where maybe they're interested in getting into the gun space, or maybe they're just interested in guns and they need somebody to help them along the way. If you have questions, my DMs are open. Like, I'm not so big that I can't see your DM. Like, I'll see it.
All right. And how about what can fans look forward to in the future from you and Costly Talk podcast?
Yeah. So it's actually the Costly Conversations podcast.
I'm sorry,
YouTube,
Costly Conversation.
No, bro, you're good. You're good. YouTube.com/@ Costly Pod, or Costly Conversations podcast if you just search it, right? It's kind of a mouthful.
Okay.
This Sunday, we're actually having a conversation with the Maj Toure of Black Guns Matter. It's a Philly-based organization, nationally recognized. It's been all over the news since 2016, training specifically urban and Black folks in the space of firearms training, conflict resolution, like kind of holistic stuff. And it's like, man, I want you on the show, bro. Like, you're kind of a big deal. And he was like, oh yeah, for sure. And I'm like, what? Me? Thank you. Like, I'm gonna try not to fanboy out because he's kind of a big deal. But he's gonna be on the show this Sunday. We have a couple cool guests such as yourself coming up in the next few weeks. We're kind of booked out until January, so expect regular shows from now until at least January, going into February. And I also have two, and I swear I'm going to wrap this up. I have two videos that I'm working on right now. Thanks, man. I got two videos that I'm working on right now. One is the video talking, there's like a few videos, but I'm trying to see how I'm going to distribute them. Talking about the P365 XL And so we talked about the handgun and just kind of giving an overview. And we have some other content just discussing how the grip modules work and how you can go from an itty bitty little baby grip to a big boy grip with like 17 rounds, or something like a Glock 17 for the P365 family of guns. That, and we actually got something of an intern joining us for she's going to help like run cameras and stuff, and we actually got the chance to teach her how to shoot for pretty much the first time. So we did a video on that last week. So I've been in the edit bay trying to figure out like, okay, how can we really make this video work, and what do we need to do to kind of make it educational for my viewers. So if you're interested in learning how to shoot a gun, or maybe you just want to see how I taught somebody how to shoot a gun, am I competent, or am I just kind of BSing my way around the internet? Tune in and see what you see. See if I got it. Maybe I do.
All right. Sounds like a plan. A plan. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 51 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. We've had Aaron with Costly Conversations podcast on the show tonight. And Aaron, if you don't mind, just one last thing. Let the viewers know where they can find you besides YouTube. I know you mentioned YouTube earlier.
Yeah, so obviously there is a YouTube, at Armed Atlas, at Costly Conversations podcast. You can actually listen to the podcast pretty much everywhere. We have the video feed on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, you want to watch the video, Costly Conversations podcast, it's right there. We've got over 70 episodes listed, available for you right there. Spotify, Apple Pod, Google Pod, pretty much everywhere. Also on Twitter X at Armed Atlas, and a couple other places. If you find me somewhere, you'll find some additional links, and hope to see you there.
All right, folks. This has been episode 51. Have a great week. Salute. I forgot to do one thing. Pretty sure that matters.
Yeah. Run it back, 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 run it back. Lost through the bend, had to crawl back. Can't take no more L's, I need all that. Run off with a pack and get the dome crack. The 4 feel short, nigga 4 flat. Run it back, 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 run it back. Quit that little drop, now you hustling. They counted you out, now you bubbling. Took you some losses, but bounce back. Now they feeding for you like you good crack. Run it back, 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 run it back. Lost through the bend, had to crawl back. Can't take no more L's, I need all that. Run off with a pack and get the dome crack. The 4 feel short, nigga 4 flat. Run it back, run it back, run it back, run it back.
All right. Thanks again.
Yes, sir. Man, glad to be here.